Okay, so I've had a moment of weakness today. Another moment of weakness. I've added to the sports memorabilia collection. Another sports scarf has been added. So last week, England Rugby Union and Castleford Tigers. This week, another England Rugby Union, and this was a chance find in another charity shop in the town where I live, in the town centre in Wokingham. And again, another £3 well spent. And when people go, how can you tell the difference between a fake and a real one? Well, look at the label and look at the stitching on the label. And in this case, it's England Rugby Club First 15. So you know it's an official match replica where you can buy at Twickenham and on the RFU website. It's an older one, admittedly. It's older than the other one I bought last week, but it's an official one. Now it's in the maroon, red and white. So basically, the I wouldn't say the most popular away strip England have, but it's in their away colours. And I have to admit, it's held up pretty well for an older scarf. As I say, £3 spent in a charity shop, so £9 on 3 items is not bad going. I also have my Euro 96 scarf, so I will be doing a sports scarf countdown. I actually prefer this colour to the dark blue one. Now the dark blue one, which is over there, on that pile just there, which I did a video on last week, is the standard RFU colours. But I will say this, I prefer the red and white. I do. I do prefer the red and white. In saying that, the Castleford scarf is in perfect condition. It looks like it's never been worn. That England scarf looks like it's never been worn. This one does look like it has had some love. And the writing and the stitching is a little bit frayed in places, but it's held up really well for a scarf that's, I would say, about 10 years old. And it is an official one, and a good way to tell if anything is official or fake is look at the authenticity of the label. The stitching on that label looks like that was stitched yesterday. It's that good, and it is really good fabric, and you can actually feel on the England red rose and the writing, you can feel the embroidery. On a fake one, that would be steamed on, wouldn't be stitched very well, and it would not be embroidered England Rugby Club First 15, and it wouldn't have an embroidered rose. You can actually feel the proper machine work embroidery there. Really good, and that is a pretty good find for £3. So I've got my Euro 96 scarf, 2 England Rugby and a Castleford Tigers added to the collection in the last 12 months. And 3 of them in the last week. So really, really glad that I found that. I literally went in to inquire if they had any sports memorabilia. And I said, do you have any? And if you don't, it's not a problem. I'll inquire another time, as and when. And they said, well, I'll have a quick look. 15 minutes later, this appears. And she was like, I said, oh, that's another England scarf. I've got a few of these. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, I purchased some the other day, and I mentioned another charity shop. Well, I said she's not going to be outdone. £3 for that, and that's another £3 very well spent. And I will be doing a ranking of my sports scarves because I've got a few now to actually warrant doing a ranking, and I will also be doing a ranking of my 5 most favourite sports memorabilia collectibles. So I've got a fair few. I've got football, rugby union, rugby league, ice hockey, motorsport. So I've got a fair few, and I will be doing a ranking of my 5 favourite pieces of sports memorabilia that I own. And I think that'll be fun, something to look forward to. It's not often that I do a list video of a top 5 or a top 10. I've got so many pieces in my collection that I think to go through the whole lot would be too long. And it would take a long time, but I can do like a top 5 pieces of sports memorabilia, my top 5 hockey jerseys, my top 5 football related items, rugby league, things like that. But I'm pretty happy with that, and as I say, I've never paid full price for anything. And my advice for anyone who wants to start a memorabilia collection or a jersey collection, again, charity shops is a good place to find stuff. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to find certain items at reasonable prices, and also look at team stores, clearance sales online and in store. You will find last season's stock. They want to clear it out. So in the off season, whatever sport you follow, Off season, end of season is the best time to go. Because that's when they have the clearance sales. So you can get this season's jersey at the end of the season for cheaper than at the beginning of the season. So yeah, you may look, but you can find things. As I say, last week or so, I found 3 items in charity shops for not a lot of money. Now, if that was a game day thing, because that is an England club first 50, we're talking 15, 20, 25 pounds, which in itself is not expensive. As I always go back to, my Jaromir Jagr Washington Capitals Screaming Eagle from the late 90s, I paid £60 for that. But looking online at resale, because CCM no longer do the throwback classics, it's all Fanatics for this season, was Adidas for a couple of years. People are selling those original CCM Washington Capitals era, kind of late 90s, early 2000s, of all the teams in the NHL at the time. You're looking at £600-700 pounds, $600-700 US dollars, $800 Canadian, about 700 euros. When it comes to Australian dollars, double it. It's a lot of money, and that's where, again, found it second-hand sale. It was donated to the club shop of the team I support, and all the funds went back into running the team, and to buy equipment, pay for youth coaching, pay for community outreach, those kind of things on top. And yeah, if I was to pay full price for that on what eBay and resale sites like Gumtree, for example, I'm paying nearly £600-700 because they are rare in that condition. They're highly desirable. Retro is back in, and people are now finally realising how much their jerseys, their scarves, their beanies, their hats, any kind of magazines, books, posters, people are realising how much some of this sports memorabilia is worth. Some people don't, and you will still find bargains, but if you can find stuff in almost near perfect or perfect condition that's never been worn or hardly ever worn, you are laughing to the bank if you can get it cheap. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Another piece of memorabilia added to the collection, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon. We've got some Rugby League internationals coming up this weekend. Thoroughly looking forward to the second weekend of the Pacific Challenge. Rugby League internationals down under, and of course England Samoa, the first test as well. Really looking forward to the Rugby League internationals this weekend. It's going to be fun. We've got some real good head-to-head matchups. We've got some tasty test matches. Australia, New Zealand looks good as well. Sean Johnson's last couple of games as a Rugby League player, come out of retirement purely as an injury cover for Jerome Hughes. That's going to be fun. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.